Welcome once again to the relationship video. It is Monday. I hope you all, for any of you that were actually anticipating this, which is probably like a small number of like maybe one. I actually have a list of stuff to actually talk about this time. I have a friend to thank for that, Bradley. Um, so this will be a mixed bag of a relationship video because it actually covers a lot of stuff. I actually don't have one specific topic to talk about this time. So I will jump right into what the list of stuff I have, which I'll start with a softball question. Um, and it's how long do you have to be with someone before you're actually in a relationship? Um, and this is an honest question, even though some people will probably not think so, but that's just me. I don't care, Some people think day one you're in a relationship. Those people are wrong. You are not in a relationship. The day you ask a girl out, she decides to say yes, y'all start dating. That's cool. You're dating. You're not in a relationship though. Because a couple hours from then, a couple days from then, she decides she don't want to be with you no more. And some of you are extremely emotional and your world will come tumbling down because you lost this girl that you've only known for like a day and a half and have never kissed, and the most you've done is like hold her hand. I need you to grow up and be real about life. You weren't in a relationship. There is no need for you to lose your goddamn mind just because this mysterious woman who you liked enough to ask out decided to date you and then dump you. Get over it. Personally, I don't think you're in a relationship. I don't count it in a relationship until you hit at least 6 months. And I'll break it down in a 2 month period for it to give you a nice little idea about it. The first 2 months of any relationship, when you first start dating somebody, it's that honeymoon months. You're all, the sun rises and sets in the crack of their ass for most people. Like, they can't do no wrong, and you love them, and they love you, and it's all wonderful and grits and gravy, and everything's all kinds of magical. Uh, and that's that, like I said, it's that honeymoon phase because everything is still great. You don't know what she looks like when she wakes up first thing in the morning. She doesn't know that you like to brush your teeth and shower at the same time. These are things you haven't learned about each other yet. And yes, it may kill time, but not everybody's okay with that. Some women might not be okay with the fact that their boyfriend showers and brushes their teeth at the same time. But that's just how it is. The next 2 months of a relationship, so you've hit that 4 month mark, this is the part where you actually get to know each other. This is when you learn that she likes to eat lunch meat straight out of the bag and roll it up with cheese while sitting in a recliner watching Pet Detectives on Animal Channel. So these are things you learn. And she learns that, you walk around the house, fully clothed all the time. Even if you're not going anywhere. It's these are the things you learn about each other. And that you learn each other's habits in these 2 months. In this next 2 months, when you hit 4 months, you start learning each other's habits. You start spending a decent amount of time with each other in the, as I consider, the downtime of a relationship. And to me, the downtime of a relationship is when you're not doing like relationship stuff. You're not out on a date. You're not watching a movie. You're not seeing anybody's in-laws. You're not seeing each other's friends. You're just around each other. It's like the downtime. You're just chilling with each other. These are the critical moments. Because these are the moments when you will burp in front of her. You will potentially fart in front of her. She will potentially fart in front of you. She'll probably burp in front of you. All kinds of stuff will happen because you've hit that point in the 4 month mark where you're starting to get to know each other. Like, really get to know each other. Like, you may find out she hates your favorite movie now. In the first 2 months, though, she may have told you she actually likes it. Why? Because that's just what we do. We prep. We tell people we like things that we don't like in order to get them to like us, and then we figure later on we can tell them we actually don't like it and it'll be okay, or, too late to do anything about it. Haha, surprise, bitches. So you've hit that 4 month mark now. You've gotten to know each other a little bit better. You've had downtime around each other. You're actually like getting to know each other way better. You now know her favorite color, like actually know her favorite color, because you've probably asked, but you've forgotten. So you've asked again just to see if it's changed. When in reality is you don't actually remember, but it's whatever excuse you want to use to actually try to come up with it. So then the next 2 months, you've hit 6 months now. These 6 months are I guess they're like, to a degree, you can consider them the probationary period for however many years you might be with this person, because you've now hit 6 months, you've gotten to know each other, you've gotten past the honeymoon stage, you've gotten past the getting to know each other stage. These 2 months are really do I want to put up with this any longer stage, I guess, in a sense. Like I said, probationary. You're seeing just what this person is like. Like, at this point, you're probably spending a good amount of time with each other. At least, in my personal opinion, at least maybe every other weekend. Give it like, time apart. But that's a whole nother topic I'll get into also. So you're spending like every other weekend with each other. You've gotten to know each other, and you're deciding if the annoying habits that she has or that he has are worth putting up with for another 6 months, year, 2 years, marriage, whatever. You're trying to figure that out. And it's a delicate moment, because just like with a job, you're on probation, and the slightest thing, and you will end up single all over again, starting over with somebody else and going through all kinds of crap, going through the honeymoon stage and all that other stuff all over again. And it'll suck balls. But be prepared for it. So yeah, to be considered a relationship, you got to hit at least 6 months. And in that 6 month time, you got to spend, if in that 6 months you haven't spent at least a cumulative 2 months together, doing either relationship downtime or doing relationship stuff, you're still not in a relationship. Because really, if you've been with a person for 6 months and you haven't accumulated 2 months of personal time with them, what are y'all doing? Other than just spinning each other's wheels, or potentially one of you is paying the other one's bills, or buying them stuff, or taking care of their kids, or whatever it happens to be that you're doing, because, you've done that. So that covers how long how long do you have to be together before you're actually in a relationship? That's my baseline. 6 months. 6 months together, and within that 6 months, at least 2 months of personal relationship time, couple time. Gotta be. Next, I will go over how much time is too much time together. Some people like to be in those type of relationships where they see each other every day. They talk to each other all the time. And after they leave each other, they call each other on the way home, and they call each other till they fall asleep, and then they talk to each other the next day, and it's always, oh, what did you do today? Oh, well, I did this, and this. Look, there is such a thing as too much time with whoever the hell you were with. Leave me the fuck alone. I want time alone. That's me. And in reality, you should too. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you should really want some time to just be you. Because the reality is, when you're with somebody all the time, you never see them for who they really are. When you have time away from them, you get downtime, single downtime. You get to be alone. You get to think, oh, we went and did this, but she also did that, or he also did that. Get some time alone. How much time is too much time together? Every day is too much time together. I don't care if you live with each other. Go to the other side of the house. Go sit outside and read a book. Go take a nap in the sun. Drive to the store. And don't come back for like an hour. There's no reason you should always be together. You should always want to have time to yourself. You took years to become you. Why should you meld into this coupled person that no longer has any kind of identity because you're always with whoever you're dating? You never want to get to that point where your friends are going, oh, every time I see you, I see him, or I see her. We'll never just hang out no more. It's the worst thing you can ever hear from your friends. It ain't never just us no more. I understand you're in a relationship, but really? Like, you always got to bring her? Like, it's guys' night out, and you brought your girlfriend. Good going. Make sure she washes your panties with the rest of hers. I'm just saying. Like, you should really make sure that you get that alone time with by yourself to just be you. You know, if you like picking your boogers and flicking them, you can't do it around her. That may be your favorite pastime. It may be when you contemplate and figure out the cure for cancer while you're picking a booger and flicking it. But you can't do that around her. So then the world will lose its cure for cancer. So, get time to yourself. Just a little bit. Even if it's only a little bit of time to yourself. Just always get time to yourself. Just walk away and be you. That's what you should really, really do. Um, After that, I'll start with this one is how do you know you're being stalked? Which is a very fair question. How do you know when someone's stalking you? If they do, I will use this example. If they call you to see if you're home and they're in your driveway, it could be just a friend, they were just swinging by, they were in the neighborhood, whatever. Not necessarily stalking. If they call you to see if you are home and you are not, and they stay in your driveway for the next hour and a half waiting for you to come home, you are being stalked. You should know this. That is a stalker. If they always want to hang out with you, you're not, and you've made it clear to them, look, I don't feel this way about you. We're just friends. But they're still like, oh, well, we can be whatever. And they always want to be around you. And they're always calling you. Or in some cases, they're just inviting themselves over to your house without you actually being like, hey, come on over and hang out with me. They're just like, hey, you're home? Cool. I'll be there at 3 o'clock. Yeah, you're being stalked. You're being stalked, hardcore stalked. When they check your Facebook status and if they think you're talking about them and then they say something to you about it, yeah, you're probably being stalked. You should just go ahead and just let that go. Just for the record. And then what do you do once you know you're being stalked? Once you know you're being stalked, the best thing you can do is draw a line in the sand. There really actually only two things you can do. You draw a line in the sand. That's one. And tell them, look, you're my friend, we're cool, but I need you to leave me alone. I'm trying to go do this, that, and the third, or whatever, and I don't need you all on my nutsack. Leave me alone for a little while. And if that doesn't work, you completely cut them off. That's two. After that, you completely cut them off. Quit answering their phone calls. Don't take their emails. Don't take their texts. Don't take their friend requests. Don't even take their game requests from Facebook. Defriend them from Facebook. Block them on Facebook. Anything that lets them contact you, get them away from you. Get them out of your life. That's what you do when you're being stalked. That is exactly what you do when you are being stalked. You completely cut people off just to get rid of them. You cut them off from everything that could possibly be going on in your life and save yourself the headache of dealing with crazy stalker people. That is what you do that is how you deal with being stalked. For anybody that is wondering. When is the right time to ask for sex? Now, this comes down to whether or not you are actually, how close you and this person are. If y'all are just cut buddies, you shouldn't have to ask. If you're a cut buddy, then it should be kind of automatic that you're going to have sex with this person and it's okay. If you're in a relationship, first date is not okay to ask for sex. Either the second. Usually maybe the third, depending on, I guess, how things go. And even then, you really don't ever actually ask for sex. Sex happens. Sex is spontaneous for the most part sometimes. And you should kind of know. There are signals, there are signs that let you know sex is going to happen. And if you pay attention enough, you'll know it's going to happen. Now, if you've been in a relationship for 6 months and y'all still haven't had sex, then you should do a lot more than just ask about when y'all are going to have sex. You should ask all kinds of other questions. Like, what are we doing? Are you a nun in training? Are you a virgin? There are tons of other questions you should ask if you've been in a relationship for a significant amount of time and you still haven't had sex. Obviously, you have some problems that you should really work out with this person and figure out what's going on and get that taken care of. And once you figure out what's going on, the sex should happen regularly after that. If it doesn't, then once again, you're quite possibly screwed and not in a fun way. And after that, I don't know. I'd have to really think about it because it's never happened to me. I've never had to ask for sex. So the right time to ask for it, it's all about knowing the person you're with, which comes down to paying attention and getting to know them. You see the signs. You see when they start talking about this or they start talking about that. When you see the roadmap of the conversation leading towards sex, make sure you're reading the road signs and you'll know, and you don't have to worry about asking. You can it'll be there right in front of you. You'll be okay about the whole situation. What is cheating? And not as far as they don't know what cheating is, but more so what is considered cheating. I guess that's a better way of saying it. And really, what is considered cheating varies depending on who the person is you're dating. Um, Cheating can be considered a hug. It can be considered a kiss of someone of the opposite sex who's not a family member. It could even be considered looking. Um, or as I've just been informed by a friend, cheating can be considered you giving anything to someone else that you're not giving to the person you're actually dating, which covers a whole bunch of stuff. If you've never laughed at your boyfriend or girlfriend's jokes, but you laugh at someone else's, that can be considered cheating. Or just they just tell bad jokes. It's just it depends. It could be physical or it could be emotional. It all depends on who you're dating. Cheating is a wide range. Like cheating is like a minefield, where the mines are like 2 inches apart. Like you could step and miss one, and then you could step and blow your foot off. It all just depends on who you're with. Everybody considers cheating completely different, you know. And uh, and word to the wise about cheating: if you get caught, if you do decide, if you break the rule of cheating, whatever it is that they consider to be cheating as cheating, and you get caught doing it, own up to it. Because the worst thing in the world is to say you didn't, and they know you did, and it's gonna go all kinds of wrong. You might as well you've just essentially tripped and fell in this minefield now, because you're never gonna dig yourself out of this hole. You're gonna lie. They're gonna know you're lying, and depending on how vindictive of a person you're with, they're gonna just stay with you just long enough to make your life miserable. Sometimes it's just easier just to be like, yeah, I did it. I looked at that girl's butt, or I kissed that dude, or whatever it is you did that they're accusing you of. If you actually did it, and they're not just crazy and accusing you of doing it like some people do, then own up to it. Work through it. Because personally, I look at it as when you're in a relationship, when you're dating, almost anything can be worked out. And I say almost anything. I have my own personal rules about what can't be worked out, but that's just me. In a relationship, we can work out everything up to you actually fucking somebody else. Now, if you just looked at a dude, or if you just kissed a dude, or you hugged a guy, we can possibly still work it out, depending on, like how you kissed him or potentially where you kissed him. We can still work it out. And as long as you don't attempt to kill me. Because once you attempt to kill me, I can't work out nothing with you. There's no longer anything that we can work out whatsoever. Attempted murder officially falls under get the fuck out, pack your shit. Like that's there's whole shebang. You are no longer welcome in my you're no longer welcome in my bubble. I'm gonna need you to give me like 50 feet. Fuck just 3. That's just me though. When is the right time to ask for a blowjob? Or I guess when is the right time to ask, not just for a blowjob, but when is the right time to ask for someone to go down on you? Which kind of falls into the same category as when is the right time to ask for sex. Because there's some girls, there's just like there's some guys who don't do it. So you asking them is pretty much pointless. It's like writing a letter to Santa Claus. It ain't gonna get you nowhere. I don't care how much you write it, like how much you wish for. It's never gonna happen. So asking for it is, personally, I think asking for it is like, it's kind of like begging. I've never been a fan of begging in a relationship. If I have to beg you for anything in a relationship, we're not really in a relationship. Like, I shouldn't have to beg for anything. Like, unless I'm, unless there's some weird mitigating circumstance that forces me to have to beg you for whatever, you should never have to beg in a relationship. And to a degree, when it comes to the physical interaction of two people in a relationship, you shouldn't have to ask either. Things just happen. There are signs for everything. Read the signs, people. Every conversation has a roadmap. Every conversation. You see where it starts, you see where it ends. And along the way, you see all the signs and the detours from where this conversation could go. Pay the fuck attention. That is my best advice in any relationship. I'm telling you. If you got to, make a list. Whatever. Just do what you got to do. But as far as asking for a blowjob, just like with asking for sex, I'd say don't do it, but some cases you may just have to. But if you do have to ask, if something happens and you get to that point in a relationship where you have to be like, hey, can I get a blowjob? Or hey, can you go down on me? Do it nicely. That's the best advice I can give. Don't look at your significant other and be like, hey, get on your knees. Like, because that will get you single. Or, um, you could turn yourself into a sundae. Because, everybody loves whipped cream and cherries. So long as, no, I take that back. Not everybody loves whipped cream. There are a few women who don't like the texture of whipped cream. So there's that. You can turn yourself into a sundae. There are all kinds of ways to get them into it. Asking for it, though, like I said, seems like it's begging. And really, when you beg in a relationship, you kind of lose that whole balance in a relationship thing. Kind of makes you seem kind of weak, and that's a whole nother. That in itself is once again a whole nother subject that I'm not even going into on this video. Is it okay to kiss a person after they've gone down on you? Some guys will not kiss a woman after she has given them a blowjob. Some girls won't kiss a guy after he's gone down on her. That's their choice. Is it okay? That's a personal thing. Don't ask me about it. If that's one of the things, it's kind of a split second kind of decision. If you've never had to worry about it before, and then all of a sudden you have to, that's a split second decision you have to make right then and there. Like, do I want to kiss this woman? Do I want to kiss this guy? I can't even really give a good advice on that one other than use your best judgment that doesn't end up with you potentially getting, injured. Because remember, when you're making this decision, you're potentially going to be at least half naked with your genitals exposed. So you may not want to piss off a person who's got you at a slight disadvantage. So I think that is about it. That covers actually all the topics I had decently. Any other questions, anything like that, hit me up on my email, leave a comment on my YouTube page, and I will see you all next Monday.